Hey folks, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Luke Gilbert. I'm the owner of the Open House Boise team here at Keller Williams Realty Boise. Today I want to take you on a deep dive into year over year versus year to date values in both Ada County and Canyon County. We'll also do some comparison of new construction versus existing inventory. And I'm going to jump right in. All right, so first and foremost, we'll start in Ada County existing. 2022, we were off to the races. May, you would have thought we would have seen more correction, but as you've seen in a previous video of mine, resale peaked in October and November of last year at about 8 point something percent. So we were sort of beginning our plateau in May, but against interest rates, prices were still climbing in May of last year and 7% gain in 2022. Today, we're looking at a 4% loss. So as we take those numbers into account here, average prices have lost 2.8% of value since May 2022. So yes, we've seen a decline in value year to date of 4%, but considering where we peaked last year, we've only lost not quite yet, just about 3% of home value. And to frame that for you guys too, historically, national home values rise and fall about 8% from December to June every year. So a 3% change in value, although across large numbers like an average price of 600, that can be a significant number, but in the grand scheme of property, it's a pretty marginal difference in value and can be easily gained back. I should mention that this 4% is the accumulation of 5 months of declining value, a very marginal decline in January. We've seen that grow to a 4% decline in value. And I'm going to continue to track that number with you guys as we decide whether or not we're in a trend here. But it is worth mentioning that moving into the summer, we would expect to see an increase in prices. And we've seen that for 10 plus years running out here. Watching year over year decreases in value is an interesting thing, and we'll continue to watch it with you. Bringing it down to new construction, average price in new construction actually gained value. We're up 3.14% since May 2022, and new construction is currently $1 more expensive than existing inventory per square foot. So if you guys have been with me a while, you know I talk a lot about that number. In 2021, it got as bad as $29 cheaper per square foot to buy new construction as opposed to existing inventory. And that was a huge opportunity for our owner group. We bought quite a bit of new construction back then. For the first time in a long time, I'm seeing almost 2 years, actually, probably better than 2 years. I'm seeing for the first time that new construction is actually more expensive per square foot than resale. Now, I would argue it's still an opportunity to buy new construction at a comparable price. And I'm doing that personally when we're buying. A lot of it is new construction right now. And new construction has seen a 4% decline in value, which is right on par with what the existing inventory did. So not a ton of movement out here, guys. We're seeing an increase in new construction costs in Ada County and a decrease of just about 3%. The memory tripped up, yep, 2.8% in Ada County. So pretty sticky numbers so far. And still we are seeing the cumulative decline in value over 5 months of decreased home value year to date. All right, bringing it down into Canyon County. Canyon County's telling a slightly stickier story. I mean, first of all, they've got less inventory. And worth mentioning up here too, we only have 1.7 months of inventory in Ada County. Now, we have less listings than we did last year and also less absorption, but it's a marginal difference in absorption. And to touch on what this number means, if we stopped bringing houses to market in the resale space or the existing space in Ada County, it would take 1.7 months to sell through that inventory. That's not a ton of time, guys. It's probably 7 weeks until we have nothing else for sale at today's absorption rate. Bringing it down to new construction, this typically is a higher number and marginally different, but it's only 2.6 months of inventory. And that means it would take 2.6 months to sell through every single new construction listing we have across the valley should we stop bringing them to market. A neutral market is considered 5 months. You'll hear 4, you'll hear 6. I'm coming right in the middle there with 5. months of inventory is a neutral market, meaning it doesn't favor buyers and it doesn't favor sellers. I think to some degree that number is a little bit skewed. We've had such low inventory that when we're pushing about 3 months of inventory out here, it does feel buyer favorable. But as you see in the existing space, it's still a very tight market for buyers out here. All right, and then bringing it down, we've gained value. We mentioned that, gained this 3%, and it's a slightly more expensive, and that's Ada County. Coming down into Canyon County, Canyon County in the existing space has lost 1.81% of value since May of 2022. So year over year, you're only down not even 2%. Year to date, you're down that 3.8%, which is consistent with Ada County's new construction and resale. Resale specifically 3.9. Here we are at 3.8 down here. Very low inventory, very similar to, and as we're same scenario, we have less homes for sale and we're selling them a little bit slower than we were. But to mention, guys, let's see, median days for a pending listing in the valley right now is 6 days on market, meaning half the houses in the entire valley are selling in 6 days or less. It's still a very competitive market, and you see that as evidence of months of inventory here in Canyon County. Canyon County new construction has lost 1% of value since this time last year, different from Ada County, which is up almost 4% year over year. But still, we're seeing a negative 6%, 6.2% year to date. So this is again 5 months of declining value in Ada County, Canyon County, excuse me, and that's new construction versus the resale here. So losing value a little bit faster, and I would say still very low inventory. In fact, we have less new construction inventory than we had this time last year, and obviously less listings as well. But at the end of the day, when you're only down not even 2% in resale, and then you're down 1% in new construction, I would argue it's a pretty sticky price in Canyon County. And as you see, very few listings, and comparatively, it has about half the listings of Ada County. That is a number of units per county too. We just have more houses per capita in Ada County, so it is a tighter market here, and the evidence of that is the months of inventory. But it's very sticky price point out here, guys. We're watching this trend and seeing how it continues. We're not seeing huge year over year gains yet, but I would say we have to measure it against the peak, which happened in October, November, December, depending on existing versus new construction. But I've got my eye on it, guys. And I would say if this is a trend, it's a great time to sell. Potentially, we're looking at depressed values continuing. You want to take advantage of what's left in your house. You've only lost a tiny bit of value at this point. It may be a good time to sell. The flip side to that narrative, and the reason it's difficult to give advice to buyers and sellers right now, is we could be seeing a correction happening as interest rates potentially cool and or begin to reverse. So it could be you're buying on the downside of a swing here. Still waiting to see a big delta in last year's values versus this year's. I'll keep you posted.